COSATI Inventory 2 includes a large fund of data concerning information sciences research. It has been published in 5 volumes and a 2-volume index. The database covers most government agencies and a variety of information: funding, principal investigators, sponsoring organizations, a summary of the project, etc. The information has been stored in computers and is being used to test the potentialities of online automatic information retrieval. Using these techniques, a substantially untrained person can search, retrieve, and manipulate this data with facility. Desired information is retrieved in seconds, or in the case of a sequential search, in minutes. In Inventory 3, we propose to establish and operate a system of this type, marking a new phase of information sciences technology. It will be clear from these demonstrations that the techniques are directly applicable to a number of other fields. These systems are user-oriented. They were developed and tested by information scientists who are familiar with the practical problems of retrieval. Let's examine the material that has been collected by the COSATI panel. More than a dozen government agencies have contributed descriptions of about 2,500 research projects. This information and data bank represent the first central pool of information about current government research in the field of information sciences technology. The information was prepared in a standard format, ready for machine storage, and has been published in a number of volumes and cross-indexed by various subject areas. This central data bank represents a significant accomplishment, and from it we can draw profiles and generalizations in any number of research areas. That is, we can if we have time. How many man-hours would be required, for example, to retrieve from these 7 volumes the funding data pertinent to highway research projects conducted at universities in the bracket from $25,000 to $100,000 between 1964 and 1967? With the tools you see today, this question can be answered in a matter of minutes. First of all, these machines all operate online. That is to say, they don't wait for computer time, at least not noticeably. In no case is it necessary to have a computer on the premises. All operate via telephone line, so that one computer, one data bank, can serve many government agencies simultaneously. Furthermore, they do not require computer knowledge, and generally you will find that your secretary can run the system better than you can. She types faster. Few retrieval problems are really well defined, so this system allows a dialogue which gradually narrows the search to reasonable size. Consider the contents which are particularly useful in making management decisions. What kind of research, by whom, when, where, how much money, what agency. The searching techniques allow us to specify these criteria and combine them in any number of ways. For example, we can call for one or another of several criteria. We can call for the combination of several criteria. We can combine the requirements into groups, and these groups, in turn, can be compared or manipulated. We can even search for ambiguous words or misspelled words. This question will call forth an entire group of names: Johnson, Jackson, Jameson, etc. All of these operations can be performed instantly. Let's look at these systems in operation. The Lockheed system, called Dialog, provides still other ways to approach a question which is not adequately defined. The cathode ray tube and typewriter complement each other, so that the comparatively slow typewriter records only material which will be useful later. At the same time, the cathode ray tube allows us to quickly review material of temporary interest for identification and selection purposes. The basic search functions are each called for by one of the console command keys: search, display, combine, etc. Each of the record fields is identified by a code: contract number, funding, investigator, responsible individual, etc. Commands to the computer and answers appear in a standard format. Here, we are looking for computer information retrieval projects sponsored by the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. We are asking the computer to search the index terms, or keywords, for information retrieval. Let's carry the search further and call out the categories Computer, and Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. The computer automatically saves all of the documents in each category. Now, by using the combine command and the identification numbers, the computer will find the documents common to all three categories. Now let's look at these documents without printing them out, however. Simply pressing the display key calls forth one page after another. And as we scan the material, notice that the list of keywords includes the plural, computers. Perhaps we've missed some documents by this listing. There are 10 times as many documents with this label, so it's a good thing we checked. Let's try this combination with information retrieval and health, education, and welfare. Notice that we've gone back to the original categories the computer has been holding. We are able to store almost 100 such sets and manipulate them in this way. Again, as we call for a display, the documents appear only on the cathode ray tube and are not printed out unless we find a useful item and enter the print command. Here's one which appears useful. Let's look at the abstract. Rather than print it now, we'll place it in temporary storage for later printing. Then we will accumulate all of the useful information and print it all at once. Along the way, let's suppose we become interested in which of these information retrieval projects are concerned with medical research. By selecting this term and combining it with our previous result, we find more specific projects. Finally, when we are satisfied that we have adequately scanned the material, we can call for a printout of the materials which we have set aside. The finished record then contains both the useful material with access numbers and a record of how we reached this point. If at a later time we have reason to question our search procedure, we can easily check the approach and amplify it where necessary. The miniaturization which we can expect in future equipment will be quite apparent from our next example. This compact portable device, produced by Computer Communications Incorporated, illustrates the rapid trend toward miniaturization. It is small enough to be carried from place to place and can be coupled to the telephone line through an ordinary handset. Although this handset is a convenience, the machine can operate much faster with a permanent connection to the line. The flicker here is not seen on the TV screen itself, but is simply a result of the motion picture process. The time is not far distant when inexpensive portable units similar to this will be commonplace. The COSATI panel firmly believes that this type of automatic information retrieval and manipulation has passed the point of being simply an experiment. It is now within the state of the art to maintain one or more data banks containing this pool of valuable information. With Inventory 3, we hope to establish such a central facility, serving the needs of many users. The facility, the time, the maintenance, and the cost of operation will be shared among many government agencies. To participate, an agency need only acquire the appropriate terminal equipment. The COSATI panel believes that this work represents a strong and continuing trend. It is our opportunity to make a significant advance in information sciences technology by actually putting such a system into operation. We feel that as this system is demonstrated, other centers containing other pools of information covering research in the physical sciences, the social sciences, urban programs, etc., will soon appear. The same terminal equipment will then be able to reach these new pools of information. We foresee a day when you, the user, will be able to reach a number of data banks combining the information from these sources and greatly improving your ability to gather information and make meaningful management decisions quickly.